What is up, everyone? This is Hezenii back for another video, and I know I haven't done this type of video before, and this is going to be a tutorial video virtually. I'm going to show you guys how to make this image in Photoshop. So let's hop right into it. So I kind of have I'll scour the internet for pictures of stuff that I like or stuff that I feel like would make a good wallpaper. And so this one we're going to be going with an anime style. So I'll be taking this picture right here. And so what you want to do to begin with is rasterize the layer style. And from there, you can go in and virtually get rid of this background here. Now, it's pretty easy to do depending on how you do it. Most of the time I just like to use the magic wand tool. And then I'll feather the edges and then boom. It's pretty easy. Now, if you want to get more detail, you can get these little things. You just hold shift if you want to get rid of these little tiny minute details. I like to get rid of them just so it can pretty much be easier for me. So here we go. We've got our waifu here. Not actually waifu, but I don't even know where she's from. But we got her here. So what you're gonna want to do is make a duplicate of this layer. And just do Control C, Control V to duplicate this layer. And when you get the duplicate, you're gonna want to rename it. I'm going to name this one background. We'll just name it back, and then I'm going to name this one foreground. So the one for the background, you're gonna want to supersize that shit. You're gonna want to make that thing huge, and then you're gonna want to skew it, because this is pretty much gonna add texture to the background. It's not gonna do much, but it's gonna add texture to the background. Also, while doing this, you'll notice that there is a white box around your person. So the easiest way to pretty much get that, you want to get the paint bucket tool, get a pretty solid color, and just boom. And then from there, you can just grab that and erase it. Now, you'll see that there's a little bit of a white edge around the character. That is perfectly fine. For what we're doing, kind of emphasizes her a bit. So yeah. Oh shoot. So you'll want to get rid of any excess things that you don't need. And then for the background layer, you're going to want to apply Gaussian blur to it, because it doesn't have to be in focus. So you can just edit how much the blur you want. That seems about okay right there. And then boom. So this layer back here, we're actually going to make it blue. Get a nice vibe. Actually, a little trick if you want to match the color scheme of like the character that you chose. Just hit her with that. Hit up this background. Boom. Look at that. Or you matching the colors. So we have a pretty decent amount done right now. So the next step is complete up to you. For me, I like to add my overlays. So the overlays depend on what you want to do with them. For me, I'm doing a snow overlay. So boom. It's pretty easy to find these overlays. If you'd like me to make a pack that has all these things in it, just hit me down in the comments below and I will make a pack for y'all. It's not too anything like crazy. These packs, they'll have just all the basic things that you'll need. So when you're at this stage, you'll want to get rid of that background like I just did. You'll just use the magic wand tool. Make sure to rasterize the layer, because it'll come in as a smart object. If it's a smart object, you can't really edit it. And so once you have that in, you're going to want to take it and put it behind your foreground, right? And then it'll just like speckles all over the screen. So then from there, make sure you have the snow overlay right there. And then you go to filters, you'll go to gallery blur, you go to path blur, and then you can pretty much blur it like there's a snowstorm going on. So what I like to do is pretty much angle it at this direction and then I'll tweak the speed to what seems fine. You don't want it to be going like anything crazy fast. And boom. Just like that, you got a blurred snow layer. That's pretty nice. We'll move on to the foreground character. So with this character, you're going to want to add a drop shadow. And if you want to copy these presets right here, but also you want to change the distance and the angle. So once you've got that, another color that goes on with their scheme is white. Boom. So that's pretty nice there. You can add a stroke. Not too dark with the stroke. Nothing that'll stand out too much. You want something that'll kind of blend in with how the character looks. There. Then you turn down the opacity. So it's looking pretty good right now. We still have a few more things to do, but we're doing pretty good. So this color back here is a little hard, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna tweak it just a tad, make it a little bit lighter, but try to keep it in the same color range because I feel like that color is a little too hard for what it is. Yeah, that's much better because you want to complement the snow. Also, you can see that there's like little dark marks on the snow. See if I can get rid of that. You can just change these layer things just to make it better. There you go. So now from here you have a weird looking background. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't look the best, but you work with it. So from here you want to make a letterbox. Your letterboxes are pretty simple to make. You just don't want it to cut off too much. So I have these guiding lines to help me see if that's the letterbox I'm looking for. That's about it. So then you'll want to select inverse. All you have to do is right click and then select inverse, and then you're going to want to make a new layer. When you make that layer, you're going to want to name it something so it sticks out. For this instance, I'm going to name it letterbox. And then from there, you're good to paste your letterboxes. Boom. So now this has to go all the way at the top so that you can pretty much pop it out. And then from there, you're going to want to take an overlay right here. This is a nice simple one that I made. This is not hard to make at all. It's just pretty much a box that you make around the edge of the screen, and then you feather it. Not anything like crazy hard. So then you get that vignette look. So once you have this vignette look, you're already doing pretty good. You don't have too much more to do. But before you can do anything, you gotta think of a catchphrase or a little quote to put on there. And there's different types of fonts and stuff that you have. You just gotta think of something. So sit here and think about whatever you want. While you're thinking, this gives you time to also throw in some more overlays. I like to throw in a film grain overlay. Helps Bob. A lot of this is just overlays. It's just not anything too hard. So you're gonna want to scroll through these effects and just find the one that fits you. And I feel like color dodge kinda is the way to go. I'm not liking this little part right here, so I could erase it, but I want to dodge that. I don't want to erase it. I think we'll go with the screen. We'll drop it under the letterboxes, and then we'll drop the opacity. All right. So you keep thinking of a catchphrase. Catchphrases are pretty hard to get. You can add more overlays. I like to add this glass overlay. It's pretty cool. If you want to make it effective, you don't have to do anything special with this one. You'll just throw it in the back, hit the screen, and then you just drop it. You'll see this overlay. I use it quite a bit. I like a lot with my wallpapers because it's pretty cool. And I have like different versions of it. I have one that I like to flip around. This is another glass break overlay. It's pretty nice. You just flip that bad boy around and throw it in this corner. Hit check. Then you can just change the screen too. And drop that opacity. Look at that. It blends into the background perfectly. So when it comes time that you've thought of your thing, you're gonna wanna choose a font. For me, I like to use Laser or Sugar Death. Those ones are pretty nice fonts, but there's hundreds and hundreds of fonts that you can look into. Just go to defont.com, or if you want to look up like retro fonts, just type in like retro looking fonts. Be careful of the ones you download, because some of them you cannot use for commercial use. Like you can't use it for any like professional work if you're going to be making money off it. In this case, I'm not going to be making any money off it, so I should be fine to use these fonts. I'm going to go with Laser 84 because it's a really nice font. And so the phrase that I'm going to do is fear everybody. So I like to make two different text layers. One fear, and then the other one is everybody. I'm gonna do everyone instead of everybody. Okay, so once you get that going, you're gonna wanna start off the layer. I like to start off with a white, nice white, and then I'll bring that size up to what I feel is appropriate. Now, some people like to use two different fonts, but since I'm using a stylized font, I'm just gonna stay with one so that it's not an eyesore. So you'll want to center this in the middle of the frame that you've got going on here. And then once you get that centered, this is where you can stylize it. So sometimes for me, I'll make three layers on top of it. One main color, one white, and then like gray, or do like a color that complements blue, so like a purple, or maybe go with the complementary color in orange. It just depends on what you do. I like to go with a purple when I'm using blue or green, but some people like to use, what's the name of it? I forgot. It's like tertiary or something. So yeah, for this one, I feel like two colors would be perfectly fine, which is gonna be the blue and the white. So you wanna go back to what you had before. You can tweak the colors a little bit to find what suits your fancy, what you like. This is all up to you. Now, you don't have to follow my tutorial exactly. You could be doing something completely different. And another thing that also helps pop is if you have two different colors. See how that pops? It's pretty nice. I think I'll keep that. And then if you want even more pop, then you want to add a stroke. But the stroke only works in certain situations. Here, I feel like if I go with a different color stroke, it might make it better. Like match that bright violet color. See, that looks pretty nice. I don't think those colors are the exact same, but most people won't notice, like if you have this for a thumbnail. So it's pretty nice. I think I'll go with the stroke again. Try to match that color the best that you can. If not, just copy the color info and tweak the stroke to what you feel is right. So from here, you can pretty much stylize it. I like to tilt these fonts. I'll put them at a little bit of an angle, and then I'll put like one in front and one behind for this one. I want to try a new kind of look. it's tough to get it. So then you'll want to tweak that one a little bit. Most people won't notice that in fact there's a space behind it. So this wallpaper is looking pretty fresh at this point. You could use this as a wallpaper, you could just use it as a thumbnail or something. It's just kind of an idea. So you can add more stylization to it if you want. Some people would like to add a little box over the eyes that kind of block. You know that, how do I explain it? I don't even know how to explain it, but it's kind of like a little thing that blocks out their eyes, and then they'll put text over it. That edgy boy text. I honestly don't normally put text over it because it just kind of, I feel like it kind of takes it away a little bit. Resize it to whatever you feel is needed. You don't want it to be too thick because that can make it kind of scuffed. So then after that, you'll want to get some bar overlays. Make sure to hit that check mark. That's one thing I normally do. Alright, so you'll get the bars. What you'll do is that you'll select your rectangle. Make sure you rasterize that too, don't forget any of that stuff. So you'll select your rectangle, right? Select the inverse, there you go. So then it'll delete all of that. And then you can get rid of that. Then you're gonna wanna move the bars to the top. And then pretty much find what you think will make it look cool. Luminosity makes it look nice. And then you'll merge these layers together. And then from there you could change opacity if you wanted to, or do anything. And like, cool, you got that bar over the eyes. Now this is not the best example, but you can work with it. You just take your time to really make it yours. These things are completely subjective to what you want it to look like. So you can pretty much do what you want with it, make it yours. Don't follow my take of what it looks like. So this is virtually the finished product. You can add whatever you want. Like for me, sometimes I'll throw color grade on it to see if that maybe makes it look cooler. See, like that color grade really makes stuff pop and makes it look different. There's a ton of different color grades that Photoshop has that you can just go through and pretty much choose what you want it to look like. Now some of these are pretty harsh, so be careful with the ones you choose. But if you choose the right one, they look pretty nice. And I'd recommend it. Yikes, that is not supposed to happen there. Just easily, whoop, problem solved. So yeah, that is a wrap. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you want to download this wallpaper that I've made, I will leave a link in the description. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this take of a new kind of thing. And yeah, y'all have yourselves a damn good one.